Hi guys! Today's video is inspired by the movie Wicked. I finally got a chance to film this. I know that the majority of the world has already moved on from this movie, but that's okay. I want to talk about some of the things in Wicked through the lens of my experiences as an autistic person, and some of the thoughts and themes that have come up after watching Wicked. I'm pretty sure that at this point, everyone who has wanted to see this movie has already seen it, but if you still haven't and want to, maybe don't watch this video before you've seen it, because there are gonna be spoilers, and I don't want you to spoil the experience for yourself. Okay, let's start with the fact that Wicked became my special interest immediately after I saw it. And I have to mention that prior to seeing it, I was not familiar with the story or the music. I didn't even fully watch the trailer beforehand. And I watched one interview with Ariana and Cynthia. And all I got from that interview was that it might be an emotional movie and that Cynthia relates to her character Elphaba because she's different. So I had a feeling that I would like this movie, also because it's a musical and I love musicals, but I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. I didn't expect the story to be so relatable and real, because even though I love musicals, the stories often feel unrealistic with all the singing and dancing. I mean, it's not like the story about a green witch is realistic, but you know what I mean? Obviously it's a lot deeper than that, but yeah, the acting was just so authentic and believable. And I think there was a good balance between talking and singing scenes as well. Anyway, I've never in my life went to see any movie in the movie theater more than once. And I went to see Wicked 3 times. And basically how my special interest developed, or maybe I should actually call it hyperfixation, because that's a better word to describe the intensity of it. It started with me listening to Defying Gravity over and over and lip syncing to it every night and reenacting the scene while my parents were asleep. Then I started learning the dances, and then I obviously tried to watch every single piece of Wicked related content I could find on YouTube. All the interviews and behind the scenes, all the way to song and dance covers and reaction videos. And when that wasn't enough, I went down the rabbit hole of looking up stuff about Ariana and Cynthia separately. Like, I listened to Ariana's latest album that I hadn't heard. You get the idea. All of this was occupying my mind for 3 months straight at that intensity. I haven't had this intense of a special interest in a long time. My YouTube watch history from that period is crazy. I just checked. I'm honestly glad that this feature exists, because even though I knew how much Wicked related content I've consumed, being able to see proof of it, to see it visually like that, yeah, it's crazy. I think this is a good example of what a special interest can look like. When it comes to special interests in general, I actually, when I first discovered that I'm autistic and started learning about autism, I didn't think that I had any special interests. And the reason for this is that I thought that it had to be this one lifelong thing that I'm passionate about. But later I learned that you can have many special interests throughout your life that last from a few days to years. And I've definitely had many of those. And they can be lifelong as well. And you can have multiple special interests at the same time. It's a bit funny now that I thought that I didn't have special interests. While special interests, especially hyperfixations, are fun and exciting and bring so much joy in the moment, they can interfere with your daily life very much, because at times it's all you can think about and all you want to engage in. The peak of my hyperfixation with Wicked has passed, and I still love it, and I'm very excited for part 2, but it's not taking up my whole mind anymore. Let's move on to the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is my favorite and the most impactful scene from Wicked for me. And that is the Ozdust Ballroom scene. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever related to a character as much as I did in that scene. There were so many emotions. I literally felt like I was in that room with Elphaba, or like I was her. I could feel all the emotions that she was feeling in that moment. I could literally feel my anxiety rising as she entered the room, and then when everyone started mocking her and laughing at her, I can't even explain that feeling. It's like humiliation mixed with sadness and disbelief of their behavior. It felt very personal. Even though I haven't been bullied collectively like that, I've definitely been ostracized and I have experienced giggling behind my back and name calling and mean little pranks. I tend to downplay those experiences, and I actually don't remember that many specific situations, but I remember how I felt. And bullying is bullying. It leaves a mark on you no matter how insignificant you think it is. Going back to the scene, I can relate to how Elphaba reacted to the bullying. I mean, I personally would not have stayed there and started dancing. Elphaba is very brave and strong for doing that. But the way she held herself in that moment was relatable. She put on this mask of a tough and confident person, because you don't want to be seen as weak by your bullies. You don't want them to see that you're affected by their actions. I love that there's actually a brief interaction between Glinda and Fiyero, where, they're standing there looking at Elphaba, and Fiyero says she doesn't give a twink what anyone thinks. And Glinda responds, of course she does. She just pretends not to. And I just think that's so beautiful. I mean, I was surprised that Glinda said that, and I didn't expect any of her actions that followed either after her earlier behavior towards Elphaba. So as soon as they started dancing together and the music started playing, I burst into tears. It was such a powerful moment, because that was the first time that Glinda showed empathy and was not doing it for attention. And it was the first time that Elphaba felt truly seen and accepted by someone. I actually remember the thought that I had as soon as I started crying, and it was, all it takes is one person. And it's true, it really does. Apart from this scene, there were some things throughout the movie that made me wonder if Elphaba could be autistic or autistic coded. And at first I was like, no, I'm probably projecting and I'm probably looking too much into this. But I was glad to discover that I'm not the only one who thinks that. There are people within the neurodivergent community who agree that Elphaba is autistic coded. Let me know what you think. The main theme in the movie is, of course, the discrimination that Elphaba faces because of the color of her skin, because she's green. But there are obviously more layers to her story that resonate with people. And because Elphaba's story is such a good example of an autistic journey, of course it's going to resonate with autistic people and neurodivergent people. And in general, anyone who's ever felt different in any way, and anyone who has been excluded or ignored or judged or misunderstood will see themselves in Elphaba. Another thing I wanted to talk about is experiencing and expressing feelings and emotions as an autistic person. This is obviously a big topic in itself, but I just wanted to talk about this one specific thing. This is something that's been bothering me for quite some time, and every time it happens, it upsets me. I'll be more specific. So every time there's a new movie or a song or anything like that, it's like I only get one chance to experience it properly. And the more times I watch or listen, the less I'm able to feel and express my emotions, if that makes sense. The only feeling I will feel over and over if I like something is joy. And this happened with Wicked too. The first time I saw it, I experienced all the emotions intensely, and I cried during the Ozdust Ballroom scene, so I both felt the emotions and was able to express them. But when I went to see Wicked for the second time, I expected, or I hoped, to cry again, but I didn't. I mean, I couldn't. I could feel the emotions rising, but I just couldn't get them out. But I thought, even though this has happened many times before, I thought that maybe the atmosphere wasn't right, or maybe I was unintentionally masking. I went with my friend and her boyfriend the second time, and we didn't choose the best seats. We were far away from the screen and the sound wasn't the best. So I thought that that affected the whole experience. So I decided to see Wicked for the third time by myself to see if I could experience the scenes properly again. I mean, it wasn't the main reason. I just really wanted to see the movie again on a big screen. And well, it didn't work. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed every second of the movie and got goosebumps many times. But again, apart from joy and maybe anxiety, I did not really feel much. I feel a bit silly talking about this because it's like, who cares? It's just a movie. And, everyone reacts differently, but little things like this really matter to me. I can't help it. I know there are people who just aren't as expressive with their feelings and emotions, and I've always been one of those people. I internalize things a lot, but I'm also a very empathetic person and I wish I could express my feelings better. Anytime I hear someone say, "Oh, that scene makes me emotional every time," or "I cry every time I hear that song," I can't relate to that, but I really wish I could. Because the thing is, it's not just about movies or songs. Those things, those reactions, translate into everyday life as well. By the way, as you can imagine, I've seen pretty much the whole press tour for this movie, and I know that people have criticized Ariana and Cynthia for crying in nearly every interview, but I was just like, wow, I wish I could be so in touch with my emotions and relive my experiences and memories like that. And I know that it can be, a blessing and a curse to feel so much and so strongly all the time, but still. I have to talk about Glinda a little bit because she's such a complex character and I don't think I fully understand her. I can definitely relate to her people pleasing tendencies, but I've been thinking, if Glinda was a real person and she became my friend, would I be able to fully trust her? I mean, her actions at the ball were genuine, but before that, she was being mean to Elphaba. In a subtle way, but still. And she invited Elphaba to the ball and gave her that hat that she thought was ugly just to embarrass her. But then moments before Elphaba arrived at the ball, Glinda found out that Elphaba had done a kind thing for her, and that made her feel guilty, which influenced all her further actions. Would she have shown empathy for Elphaba otherwise? I don't know, maybe it's my trust issues talking here. But I mean, in the end, Glinda was not being a supportive friend, and she did not stand up for Elphaba. And yes, there were reasons for her decision, and they were both in danger in that situation, but yeah, that's a whole other conversation. Alright, I think that's all. I haven't been able to properly analyze and talk about all of this with anyone, so I'm excited to share it with you guys, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Oh, but if you know the story and what will happen in part 2, no spoilers please. Okay, thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!